Hi, I'm Harry Siemens, and we're here from Manitoba Ag Days 2019. Today, this particular time, Never Spill Sprout, a full bin alarm. John Guerra. You know, years ago, we had a chance to visit, and it's been many years ago, and today I'm kind of really pleased and happy to be able to talk to John about the business. I know you farm, and now you run a business. Yeah, you can look at this way and tell me about the business.
Okay. Yeah, we started the Never Spill Spout about 15 years ago. It came out of my own farm because I'm farming mostly by myself, and I was filling up grain bins, and then sometimes there would be a spill because I didn't pay attention when it was full. So at the time I was looking for something on the market that would tell me when the grain bin is full, that attaches to the auger, and I couldn't find anything, so I built something for myself, and 1 year later, with some help from some friends and Ag Days, we were at a booth at Ag Days, had a prototype that was working for me for the summer, and with just that one prototype we sold 30 units the first time at Ag Days about 15 years ago.
Tell me, how does it work?
The principle of this no spill spout is very simple. There's a sensor in the auger spout itself at the end of the auger that goes into the grain bin. And then once the grain comes up to that level, then it pushes the sensor and gives an audio alarm. And that alarm, of course, tells the farmer the bin is full. They shut off the tailgate or the semi, and they run the auger empty. And then they, like I say, the bin is full, and they have an empty auger to move on to the next bin.
Then I also know that you're one of the speakers here at the seminars that they have on. Tell me a little bit about that, because it ties the two things together. You farm, but you also built something you needed, and now you take that and turn that into another business as you're now marketing it to others.
That's right. Of course, the main business is still the farm, and the presentation, or the purpose of the presentation, was sort of saying if anybody has any ideas, and I talk to people all the time that have ideas, but they don't really know how to market it. And one of the purposes then was to help people, get a table at something like Ag Days and just stand there for a while and see what the feedback is. One of the titles of my presentation was 9 out of 10 things that I invented failed. So I've been kind of tinkering with a few things here and there, and it's really interesting. Even now I have different ideas. Sometimes I bring them along to the show and there's no response whatsoever. And that tells me fairly quickly, this is not something that the market maybe needs. And the spout just sort of went the opposite way. People, buy it. Nowadays, we have people that come back, they have a second and a third auger and they put it on there, or a neighbor of somebody that has one comes, they say, well, buy one. Our neighbor said we have to get one. And, so it sort of developed from there.
When, as a farmer, I mean, there was a time, you didn't have to do a lot of marketing, but at the same time, this is totally different. Now you got to get out to the farmers and make sure you convince them that this is something they need.
Yeah, of course, marketing grain is different than marketing a product. There's no question. But again, things like this, or the newspaper, farm newspapers, the book and things like that. Once you're in there, you get lots of phone calls, and that's how one thing grows from another. We're also trying to market it in the United States, in North Dakota, and so on. We attend those trade shows sometimes too, but we don't have the critical mass going yet. Like in Saskatchewan and Manitoba and even Alberta, we're at most trade shows, either through us or through a dealer of ours, and people recognize the name. Nowadays at Brandon here, it's almost more, people come back that have one, so it's actually really nice getting feedback from farmers and that they like it.
Is it easy installation, and what's the general cost?
The cost is around $700. That's if it gets delivered to your yard, depending a little bit on the size. If it's a 10-inch or a 16-inch auger, at the farm show we have a little bit of a discount, and installation takes about 40 minutes. It's basically a auger spout that you install at the top, and then you run a wiring harness, that's all included, down to the bottom of the auger. Then there's an alarm box at the bottom of the auger, and then you plug it into the tractor electrical outlet. So this way there is no batteries, no remote, or no wireless. It's a very simple system. There's a test light that goes at the top of the auger. So by having that light there, we know that we have power going all the way up to the top of the auger. Because of course, if there would be a bad fuse and no test light, then you never know if the thing would be working or not. So by having that light there, we know that we have the power and the system should be working fine.
So who is all involved with you in the company? And tell me a little bit about your farm.
Well, this Never Spill Spout company is my wife and myself. Usually she is here at the trade show and does most of the marketing. She's much better at that than I am. And so it's sort of a little family business. And our daughter builds the sensor, which she does a really good job of. Some things are hired out, like the wiring harness gets made in an electrical shop in Winnipeg. And then we create some employment for some local neighbors, kids that sort of work on the spout, cut holes and assemble it and package it. So that's a little bit, it's a very small company. It's not like a farm, but it does add to our income. You can put a little bit of money aside, and that's how it's been developing over the last 15 years. Now we sold about 10,000 units altogether, and to me it looks like as long as people buy augers, they maybe will buy our spout. So far it looks very promising.
And as long as we're farming, farmers are going to need augers.
I think so. Yeah. So it looks promising right now. Thanks.
Very good, John Getter with the Never Spill Spout, and it's just a great thing to hear again. A farmer who I talked to years ago as a farmer, now showing off his product, selling his product, continuing to farm, as you heard, involving his family in the various aspects of the business, and I'm sure in the farm as well. So thanks again, John, and this is Harry Siemens from Manitoba Ag Days in Brandon 2019.